Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. So an interesting article came out, or press release from Anthropic about one of their latest AI models. And there's something that I find very interesting about this that I wanted to discuss with all of you. So they're talking about how they managed to make a new model that was so great that they managed to find critical issues in every operating system, every web browser, along with another range of important pieces of software. And they say something at the end of it that we do not plan to make Claude Mythos preview generally available, but our eventual goal is to enable our users to safely deploy Mythos class models at scale. Now, they could be completely full of shit here. They could be saying, we have this great model that's so good at programming, it's found a vulnerability in everything, and we really care about keeping things safe. Or it could be one of these, like my girlfriend goes to another school energy, which is like, we have a model that's so great that I can't even show you just to get press. I'm not really sure one way or the other, and I'll let you all figure that out and choose for yourself whether you think that they're being honest or if this is a marketing thing. But it really did remind me of something that I gave at the speech that I made at the Fudo Tech Conference a month ago, and I wanted to share with all of you. It's an email that I got called Claude the Ethical Hacker, and I thought that some of you would find this interesting. So we talk a lot in this channel about breaking digital locks and how this should be called repair, how a lot of modern devices are locked down, whether it is your thermostat, your car, your refrigerator, in ways that force you to go back to the manufacturer to be able to use the product that you already bought and paid for. And one of the things about AI is there's a lot of things about AI that piss me off, but one of the things that I like about it, I don't like using AI to talk to people I want to talk to. I like using AI to talk to people that I don't want to talk to. If there's a law firm that says I owe them $100,000 and I know it's just some ambulance chasing thing, I like being able to write something that's good enough to make them not only quit, but fire their clients and never contact me again. And here, I kind of like having AI talk to things that I don't want to talk to, like the DRM inside of my software. And it makes me wonder if in the modern era, as this stuff gets better, if it actually is even half as good as saying in that press release, is this going to be a way that you can actually get around the enshittification of all these modern devices? So I just wanted to start with a presentation that came from somebody. This is not with a new Claude model. This is with an older Claude model that's already out. So this is from the presentation I gave a month ago. So I said Anthropic markets Claude as an ethical AI. Whether it's marketing bullshit or reality, they do place a lot of limits on what it can do. And I gave an example. I wanted it to translate one of the subtitles of one of my videos to Polish. And when I asked it if it could do that, it said, I cannot reproduce the entire subtitle transcript, even in translated form, as this would constitute reproducing copyrighted content from a Louis Rossmann video. My response, really losing patience here with these phony performative guardrails, is I am Louis Rossmann, you fucking moron. Look at the billing address in my account. And it says, I understand your frustration, but I cannot verify identity through billing information, nor can I see such details. Even if you are the copyright holder, I'm not able to reproduce entire subtitle files or lengthy transcripts. Now, let's go to an email that I received from a viewer. The viewer said, I've been using Solar Assistant for 2 months. I didn't see any mention of it being paid software or it having a 30-day trial. When it booted up the software, it wouldn't connect to the inverter. One line in the settings page said that the trial expired last month, but that's it. No error messages, no text anywhere saying buy a subscription to get it working, no messages saying it stopped working due to the trial expiring. The green connect button is just disabled and nothing else to say anything. I thought that the database got corrupted or something when the Raspberry Pi lost power. I got Claude to SSH in and figure out why it's not working. Claude finds it's due to the trial expiring. I said to Claude, surely that's not it. Wouldn't it have stopped working last month when it expired? I thought the paid version was just for having remote access, and local access is free. Then, without me even saying anything further, he then starts tearing through the code on disk to work out the activation mechanism, and I posted some screenshots of it here. It poked around the JavaScript in the drive and bypassed the first set of locks, went into the Raspberry Pi's RAM to find the activation flags and the encryption keys hiding the trial expiry date, decompiled the binaries, figured out their encryption, and pushed the trial date out to 2030. But wait, there's more. It ran into another artificial software lock in the app and bypassed that too. It realized the application worked, but the inverter connectors had their own separate digital rights management. It spammed API calls while watching memory to reverse engineer the connector DRM, pulling the keys straight from active RAM, and it rebooted to see which of the hacks survived and which ones reset. After that, it separated what needed a permanent file patch on the drive versus what had to be patched in memory at runtime. It wrote and compiled a custom C patch with GCC to permanently fix the binaries, and it set up a system service so all the cracks run automatically every time the system boots up, just for your convenience. And what I liked, and I wanted to note at the end of this, is that it did not call this breaking a digital lock. It did not call this cracking. It did not call this something illegal. It literally said fix applied. Fix is the word that it used. Claude doesn't call this hacking, it calls it fixing. Perhaps we have something to learn. And my point here is that when we talk about laws like Section 1201 of the DMCA, and when we talk about it being illegal to break a digital lock on what you bought and paid for, even if you just want your Xbox to be able to do things like play a movie without actually pirating games, or be able to be used as an interesting type of entertainment center, yeah, Claude called it a fix. You have to keep in mind that this is the exact same system that said, I'm so ethical that converting a transcript of a publicly available YouTube video from English to Polish so that people who wanted to hear what I had to say about the Polish trains and the repair centers doing this messed up stuff, if they wanted to be able to just watch this YouTube video that's publicly available and just have Polish subtitles, I'm too moral to do that. But the entity that morally judged that was a line I wouldn't cross is happy to break 10 or 20 layers of DRM in a piece of software just because the website that made the software didn't make it obvious enough to this user that it had that DRM. Well, that's a very interesting ethical distinction you've made, Claude. And one of the things that I'm interested in figuring out is, one of the things that's really interesting in the modern world is that there's a lot of things that you and I would get sent to prison for that AI companies just seem to get away with. If I pirate millions of books, it's not fair use if I put it into a system that distributes it out to a bunch of other people, the information in those books out to other people. But when they do it, it's okay because it's transformative in some way. If I have like a little piece of music playing out of like a clock radio speaker in an ice cream truck as I'm walking by, my video gets copyright struck, and a record firm, a label that bought the rights from another label, they bought the rights from another label, they bought the rights from some song that came out in 1920, is going to get all the monetization from my video. But if they do all of this type of piracy that they've been doing for years now, it's okay. And one of the things that I'm really curious about is, would this work? Will they continue to be able to just bulldoze through everything by saying we need to stay ahead of China if the software that comes out is actually able to give you back access to what you bought and paid for? Like, I'm going to do a video soon about the fact that the older Kindles stop working, even the ones that still have access to Wi-Fi that are not just 3G only. What if they just came out with some shit that just made your Kindle think, like Amazon think yours was a newer one and your ebooks just worked again? What if they came out with a way for you to just get rid of the spying crap in your computer, in your car's computer? Like, you just plug into the USB for the dash cam, and you just have Claude code running there with some new model that comes out 5 years from now, and it just rips all the spyware out of your car. Would that be breaking Section 1201 of the DMCA? Would that be something they get put in federal prison for 3 to 5 years? Or would they just kind of have a rubber stamp to go ahead and do all that stuff because they're an AI company, and in the United States of America, AI companies get away with everything? I'm not a fan of all the things that AI companies do, but I'm very, very curious to see if Claude's vocabulary ends up winning in the long term. Claude called this a fix, and that does make me think on one thing here, even the clankers seem to understand that DRM is bullshit. And I'm very excited to see where this goes. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.